Another edition of Fantasy Game Plan, Week 3, and we got some stuff, some tales that I need to kind of admit to.
Well, there might have been a fantasy victory last week. Go ahead and tell them.
I'm just glad I didn't make a wager, because right now I probably would be naked right now. That's not a pretty sight.
It was close, but that is not a pretty sight. It was close, but there is now one team that is 2-0 in the Gibbs Me a Break Joe Gibbs Racing Fantasy League, and that would be Bernsky.
All I needed was 10 points.
It's just
10 points to beat this guy.
Just a game. But more importantly, we want to gear you up for this week. Do a little something different this week. I think we're going to go through each NFL game, talk a little bit about who we like to win, and maybe we'll mention a fantasy stud or dud in each of those games if we have time. So
sounds good.
Let's do that.
Director's going to hit it off for
Start us off there.
Green Bay at Cincinnati.
Green Bay, Cincinnati. Ooh, that.
What do you think, Perchy?
Well, I like. It's going to be hard to root against or to pick against Green Bay. I think Cincinnati. If anyone's going to step up in the AFC, it may as well be them. I think the AFC's up for grabs, but Green Bay, they're running the ball. Green Bay never runs the ball. Green Bay's running the ball. Aaron Rodgers, they're all over him. He's been sacked once. You give Aaron Rodgers time, I don't care who you are, it's lights out. I like Green Bay in that game.
I got to go Cincinnati. They are playing at home field advantage. Also, yeah, they're running the ball, but they're playing against a pretty stout defense in Cincinnati. You got Geno Atkins in the middle. It's going to be a great game, but I got to go Cincy on this one.
And I do like all the offensive players in that game. Unfortunately, Eddie Lacy, who I touted last week, was going to have the first 100-yard rushing game for Green Bay, got knocked out on the first play. And Starks rushed for 100 yards, so Lacy might have rushed for 200 had he been in there. But I think I'd get in all your Packers. I'd definitely get in A.J. Green. This new, how about this rookie kid at Cincy? He's the real deal. I'd get him in there, too.
Yeah, so my dud would be Ben Jarvis, who I have on my – who didn't give me anything to have opportunity to beat the Persky. So I think you got to bench Ben Jarvis and like you said, the young Ricky.
Yeah, you can't start late.
Do you pick up Starks?
Absolutely. If Starks is still available in your league, shame on your league. But I would consider starting Starks this week in most formats.
St. Louis at Dallas.
St. Louis at Dallas.
That's a tough one.
I'm going Dallas.
Yeah,
I hate to say it, but I got to go Dallas. They just got too many weapons. You got Bryant, Romo, and those guys. Miles Austin.
I got to admit, it's a hard pick, but I'm actually going to take St. Louis. I think Sam Bradford, he's one of the top scoring fantasy options. I'm actually considering him starting in one of my leagues over Russell Wilson. I think they're going to throw the ball all over the yard. Dallas has shown they can't stop anybody through the air. I kind of like St. Louis in an upset.
All right.
San Diego at Tennessee.
San Diego at Tennessee. Tennessee's been playing strong, man. They lost that last one in a close one. I'm going Tennessee with my guys down there, Greg Williams and
Jerry Gray.
Jerry Gray, that's it. Those two guys, I'm going with those guys.
I'm going to go against you again. I'm going San Diego, and I never thought I'd be on the San Diego bandwagon, but they can score points. The question is, can Tennessee keep up with them? San Diego's kind of hot. I know the whole, hey, we're playing at 1 o'clock, traveling across the country. That never bodes well for a West Coast team, so it's probably a dumb pick. But I just got a hunch on San Diego on this one.
All right.
So far, I think we're different on every one of them.
What about Phillip Rivers? Hot quarterback.
Phillip Rivers, let me tell you, if you need an option, if your guy's hurt or you're kind of down in the 7th, 8th, 9th range, I'd definitely consider Phillip Rivers. Tennessee's defense pretty good, though. I'd be careful. I'd look for an option that maybe has a little softer defense.
Cleveland at Minnesota.
Oof.
Cleveland and Minnesota, the two offers.
Sorry. I fell asleep just thinking about watching that game.
I'm going Minnesota. I'm starting out right out the gate. Minnesota, whenever you got a guy that can run the ball, like, Adrian Peterson, it gives you a strong, opportunity. The quarterback still, has not come up to play, but, I got to go Minnesota.
Congratulations to our director who happens to own Adrian Peterson. Let's just say, if you own Adrian Peterson, congratulations, you're going to enjoy it. You may be the only people watching that game or Adrian Peterson owners.
Let's go Tampa Bay at New England.
Tampa Bay, New England. I mean, that's New England for me. New England's not going to lose again. They're not going to lose at home. I say again, they haven't looked great, but I guarantee they're mad. Tampa Bay actually has looked pretty good. I think this is the week Tom Brady gets it together. If you have Tom Brady, I know there's a lot of talk about benching him. Just stop. He's Tom Brady. Start Tom Brady this week. He'll be Tom Brady again. I don't care if he's throwing to me and Ronaldo. He's going to chuck a couple this week. In fact, if I was there, I might catch 2.
What about Ridley? What do you think about the running back there, man? If that's something that people may want to put in there.
Yeah, I think he's a good flex option. I think he's a good trade for guy right now because his value is probably pretty low. He was sort of a sexy pick during the draft, and he's fallen out of favor. If you've got a chance to acquire Ridley, even if it's just to stash him, I like him. But I actually like Brady. I like Brady a lot this week, and I don't think the Gronk's coming back quite yet. But when he comes back, look out.
So I guess both of us can agree with the Patriots on that.
Patriots.
Arizona at New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Again, I'm not going to pick against New Orleans at home. So
I was a former Saint, so maybe I'm a little biased. I got to go with the Saints. Drew Brees, is always a guy that you're definitely going to start there. Got some weapons there. If you can combo with one of those receivers, obviously Colston or even Graham, you can't lose.
I think there's a lot of points in that one.
But then on the other side too, you got a couple of good receivers there with.
Yeah, I know Fitz is a little banged up.
Yeah.
But no, I like New Orleans to win big in that one actually.
Well, we'll see.
I think Brees gets on track this week.
Detroit at Washington.
Well, again, Washington has given us not a whole lot of reason to pick them.
I know.
They are at home. I will say this is the most lopsided rivalry in the NFL. I don't know the stat, but Detroit hadn't beaten them in like forever, much less in Washington. So for that reason and for the reasons of my heart, This is the week the Skins get it together. I think there's a lot of points. I think the defense plays better, puts some pressure on Stafford, and I think RG3 puts together a good game and hopefully does a little more running this week and maybe uses his legs to get in the end zone a couple of times. I like the Skins this week.
I agree. I like the Skins as well. I think Alfred Morris, he seems each week to keep getting more yardage and getting the end zone a few more times to help RG3 as well. But again, Stafford, nobody's been able to stop this guy. He's been one of the top fantasy quarterbacks as far as scoring wise. He's got Megatron there as a receiver, and
who's going to cover him?
You're going to have to double team that guy. So there would be a lot of points like you talked about.
New York Giants at Carolina.
Oh man,
that's a hard one. Being in Carolina, I can't imagine the Panthers going 0-3.
Well, let me give you a little history lesson. The last time New York Giants had somebody, and our prayers are with Tom Coughlin's younger brother who just passed. Last time was the owner, Mayor died, and they did a number on us when I was with the team. So I think Eli has one of his better games so far, and they're playing for something, obviously playing for Coach Coughlin and what he's going through. So I think at the end of the day, even though we have some guys over at the Panthers, I think they win this one.
I got to agree with you. I'm going to go Giants. I do think Cam Newton may have a little bit better day. Don't expect huge things out of him, but don't bench Cam Newton just yet.
All right.
Houston at Baltimore.
Houston at Baltimore. That's a tough one right there. What do you think, Partsky? What do you think?
I was kind of hoping you were going to go first on that. I was going to see what the spread is on that game, but that's a tough one. Again, I think Houston's actually favored in that game. I got to be honest with you, Baltimore hasn't shown me anything or given me a reason to think that that's a huge advantage for them. I'm going to go with Houston. Schaub's quietly putting together a good season. Foster ain't the Foster of old, but between him and Tate, they're pretty darn good. They got this rookie receiver that even if Andre misses time, he's a stud. Mm-hmm. Owen Daniels, I like Houston.
I agree. I got to go with H-Town as well in Baltimore.
What's Ray Rice's status?
I think it's questionable. I know he's in the lineup against me in one of the games, so I'm hoping he does not play. But I know there's probably a lot of you that are.
Atlanta at Miami.
Atlanta at Miami.
That's an interesting game. Miami's quietly putting together a pretty good little season. They got a good defense.
Mike Wallace is the receiver on that side.
He is.
quietly having a pretty good game, had over 120 yards as a lot of
Yeah.
you fantasy owners done pretty well. I think he continues to do well this week.
And Roddy's banged up,
Yep.
but Julio Jones is a beast. And again, I'm actually going to go with an upset here. I'm going to take Miami. I'm going to take Miami at home.
At the end of the day, even though they do have a nice little team, they're putting together something special, I'm going with Atlanta.
All right.
Indy at San Fran.
I tell you, San Fran is a big favorite in this game, big
Right.
favorite, and I'm not condoning betting. I definitely wouldn't give them the 10 points that they're favored. I think they win the game because they got humiliated last week, and
Yeah.
I guarantee it's been a rough week of practice with Mr. Harbaugh.
So you think Kaepernick, is he back? Is he going to put up some pretty big numbers like he did the first week, or?
Yeah, I think you'll see closer to week one than certainly what you saw last week where they scored 3 points. So I'd get Kaepernick in your lineup. I like Gore there. And let me just tell you, Indianapolis, Luck's value went up. If you're a Trent Richardson owner, congratulations. I don't know about this week. I know there's a lot of question. He is going to play. The question is, do you start him? If you don't have a top 20 option, I start him, which I'm doing. I was going to have to trade for someone to start in place of Trent Richardson because Lacey's hurt, and so I'm putting Richardson in. They're saying he should touch the ball 15 times. That's 15 times that he's got an opportunity to break one. So I'm going to go with Trent Richardson, but I think they're going to score some points, but I think the Niners win that one.
I think the Niners pull it out as well.
Yeah.
Chicago at Pittsburgh.
Oh, Chi-Town.
Sunday night.
Chi-Town's 2-0 now. They're on the road. That's my hometown. And Pittsburgh is in a must-win situation. Put a little heat on the old ball coach there in Pittsburgh, but I'm going with Chicago. I think Cutler's playing unbelievable. A guy who really has been highlighted this year is Martellus Bennett. How many more good games or great games will he have for a fantasy guy out there? Do you start him now? Is he a guy that you start, or is he kind of still trying to figure out?
Yeah, I think if you're weak at the position, you could start him. He's certainly a good bye-week option. I agree with you. I think Chicago wins this game. I hate it for Pittsburgh, great organization, but they're in a down year. I think they're going to have a tough time against Chicago.
Monday night, Oakland at Denver.
The Oakland Raiders.
The Raiders.
Big division matchup. I tell you.
Peyton.
Yeah, that's really all you need to say. I mean, the Vegas number there.
I think the director owns Peyton, doesn't he?
2 touchdown favorite in Denver, and that may
Wow.
not be enough. Actually, Oakland's defense has played. I mean, they're a sack machine.
Yeah, they're
playing well. They're going to put some pressure on Peyton, but unfortunately for them, that doesn't really matter.
Too many weapons.
They're going to be playing at altitude against the man. I'm all over Denver in that game.
All right. Well, hey, this is the first time we had opportunity to pick them, and we'll see how our picks turn out. I think, I don't know, being a player, I think I got the edge over Persky here. So
We shall see.
we'll see what the results are. But at the end of the day, if you want to ask us some questions, again, at Persky and at Ronaldo Win, had a little change with mine on Twitter. Please feel free to give us a few questions, and we'll be happy to answer them.
Good luck in your games this weekend.
Another segment of Fantasy Game Plan.